Okay, hello. This is Christy and Christy. Christy from the
Hello.
USA and our Christy here from Australia. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
So this is Tetra3, the Convergence. I'm going to add a link at the bottom for Tetra 1 and 2. But I just wanted to we're bringing this together, which is really interesting, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But first, actually, what I want to do is mention our journey here, our collaboration journey. And this has been for the last 4 months. We did 2 Tetras, 1 and 2 in July, and now we're on the third Tetra in November here. So it's a 4-month little period that we're doing this work. And it's really, we've been kind of doing our own work behind the scenes, and it's all about timing. I mean, I found this so much to be about timing, because what happened in the first and the second Tetra was it was kind of Lemuria based, and this is a little bit more Atlantis based, and we're merging the two, and this is big convergence, but it's all about timing. So we have Christy and myself, we have Garri, who is also a channeler. He channels the light bringers. And we also tune and tap into him with knowledge and wisdom to sort of guide us and keep us in tune with our own knowing, and bringing revelations for us and to help us out with this. So we are kind of the Trinity, or the triad, the 2 Christys and Garri. So he's behind the scenes right now, but he's actually working with us right now too. So what I wanted to start with, and Christy, is there anything you want to introduce at this point? Anything you want to bring in?
I can't think of anything in particular.
Okay.
I guess the first triads were about us clearing the Lemurian grids, and activating or allowing people to have access to the Lemurian wisdom that was held within the grids and within the waters. And this particular one is not to do with that grid at all, is it? But it is still activating and allowing others to have access to information.
Yeah.
And so, if you explain about that.
Yeah, it's interesting because the series of Tetra energy expression is, and that's what we're using here, is we're connecting into the core grids, which is we see them, or I see them as a kind of our physicality of what we've been over many incarnations. And it's tapping back into that through our Lemuria, through our Atlantis. And that in doing that, we're actually, in all of these, it's a clearing of the distortions as it resets the structures in a sense. It's embodying forgiveness in individual and collective, within and without, through so many lifetimes. It's bringing balance back to the physical essence of all of the other bodies, which are, our emotional, mental, and spiritual. And it's coming into, whereas those are coming into their alignment. And remember, as these other bodies reset, our other 3 bodies reset, the physical is the last. So we're recalibrating right now through this process. This physicality is recalibrating. So the physicality is last, and that's where we are right now. We're at this culmination. And as this occurs, we remember the freedom and the liberation of our soul essence and its ability to express love unconditionally. Coming back to love. This is the core embodiment for humanity and Earth in the basis of these Tetra node systems that we're now putting in place. So with that, I'm going to bring on the little visuals that I have to help guide us through this and help you visualize sort of what we're speaking of here. Okay, can you see that full screen, Christy? Okay.
I can, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so this is Tetra3, and if you've seen, again, I'll put a link, but if you've seen Tetra 1 and 2, they look a lot like this, but the pyramid node, the nodes are different. They're different, they're not pyramid-based, and the locations are different. So let me just explain a little bit about the tetrahedron. As this thing has sort of evolved for me in this process, but the actual tetrahedron is symbol codes, and they're used as setting instruction for energy current in grid networks. This is how I've been guided to do energy work. And I love to create the maps and the graphics as part of the expression of all this energy that will be consciously felt and seen when your divine being, you know, within your divine being when it determines its time. For me, it's a knowing. I don't see these locations. I just get a map, and then I just have this knowing of this is where they are. But this is the Tetra energy work. And, you know, people work differently through different methods, but I found that this is one of my gifts, and it's very exciting because the Tetra itself is setting the energy instruction. So I referenced 1 and 2 already. This, again, is the third one. And the pyramids. So let's talk a little bit about the pyramids. We have Giza in Egypt, and we have the Bermuda Triangle, and we have, I'm probably not going to say this right, Jaguaruana, Brazil. And these each are seen and unseen pyramids. We know the Giza pyramids are physical, we can see them. I believe that there is a physical, I think it's a crystal pyramid in the Bermuda Triangle. And then also there is some original pyramids in Brazil were made of seashells, and they don't physically necessarily exist anymore because they were destroyed, because they just thought they were rubble. They didn't realize what they were. So what I've learned is that even though a pyramid may not be physical, it actually has an etheric signature, so it is still available. So these are the 3 pyramids that we're working with today.
Can I just add something
yes,
to Christy?
Please.
So we were also told that when we enter the new earth paradigm, and when we raise to that frequency, so much will be revealed to us, because we'll be able to see so much more. And one of the beautiful things that will be revealed will be these pyramids that we'll see in their true state of being. And so I've been told by the Dragon Collective before that the pyramids will seem to us to be these amazing, beautiful, shiny structures, not this sort of old rock and stone structures that we know at this time. They'll be absolutely amazing in their appearance, and we'll be able to see so many, not just the ones we can physically see now.
Yeah.
And yes, the light bringers have certainly said that the pyramid in the Bermuda Triangle is a crystalline pyramid. It is submerged in the water, and because it's surrounded by the frequency of the water, it is extremely powerful. And as we know, the Bermuda Triangle, we've all heard the stories of planes disappearing and such. So all pyramids are portals. And because that particular pyramid is submerged in the water, the vibration of it is easier to access. And so even though it was not always wanted, some people traveling in that vicinity may accidentally enter into the portal, whereas other pyramids that aren't in water, that doesn't really happen. They're a bit more difficult to access. But that will change as we enter into the higher frequencies, and we'll really be using these portals consciously, not unconsciously.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to do a technical check. Are you seeing recording on the screen? Do you see it's recording? Okay, good. I can't see it with the this image up. Okay, so that's great. Great information. Going to back to the tetrahedron here is with the tetrahedron also comes the codes. And these codes are, again, they're just a knowing that come through with these codes. We use spirit animals. We've used the same spirit animals on all three tetras, whereas there's always an avian one that is a different species. We always have the whale, we always have the lion, but the avian one, for some reason, always wants to come through a different species. And this one is a falcon in this particular one. So energy has a mathematical expression. And sometimes you receive this insight and sometimes you don't. It really depends on the individual. But this tetrahedrons, for me, seem to have a mathematical expression. So that's why these numbers come through. That's why coordinates want to be plotted. You know, it is really an interesting process, but, you know, that all carries, you know, it's all part of the energy signature. And then the code 1122-7 is really interesting because, and 4, which is 4 is the actual apex of this tetrahedron. So I'm going to go to the next one because remember these codes here. So this light code came through as part of Tetra3. Now, when I received it on Tetra3, I didn't have all these codes associated to it because we weren't ready for the codes yet. The codes had not come through at the time we did the energy. And actually that was published in a video. So actually the codes came a few days later. And look at this code, it's 11, 22, and 7, and 4, which I didn't even realize it when I was doing the Tetra3. But this shows how these are coming together. It shows that, you know, this is merging, the work that we're doing here is merging. And it's all about the mother energy, you know, coming back in a sense. But this specific light code, sacred geometry, alchemical code, we introduced gold into it because gold was a very important part of this process, and you'll see why that in a minute here. But you know, after we did the Tetra 1 and 2, we're still doing work behind the scenes, and things are coming as part of this energy. That is why we're here today, 4 months later. So it's really interesting. So let's see if there's anything else we want to say about this particular code. You know, 1122-4 is the mother code, or 7 and 4 is the, you know, is the total, and that is the mother code itself. We talked about the golden energies. With the golden energies, also with this code, become the golden thread. So this particular one is, again, it was done after Tetra 1 and 2 because I knew these were coming together. This is a culmination. And this wasn't in either video. I think I published it later, but it showed the, oops, sorry about that. It showed the coming together of these tetras. And this, again, this is Lemuria. This is the Lemurian energies. There's 6 different portals here. There's this area here that shows the tetrahedron was Tetrahedron 1, and the one up where the doves are is Tetrahedron 2. And with this the golden thread wrapped these together. So that gold came in for a reason, to actually wrap these two tetrahedrons together. And remember what I said about the avian, the bird is different on each one. So we have points. We have 2 points. This one and the other end here are the avian locations. This was the albatross in Chile, and the other one was the, on the other end here, is in the Kunlun Mountains, which was the dove. And now we have the falcon in Brazil. So there, all this has significance. I can't speak exactly to it, but I'm in recognition of it, and it's just exciting. And you know, there's more to come. You know, I think there's much more than I can even speak about. But with this also, along with the golden thread, the dove, you know, flying in this triad here, you know, freedom and liberation at its fullest. You know, we're freeing ourselves from what was, which we've held on tight to. You know, the phoenix rising. This is humanity. This is our, you know, rebirth time. 777, very important number. You know, what is related to that number is order out of chaos, 5th density, the hidden key of God, golden ratio, the Aquarius age, and earth has summoned me. So, you know, it's these codes that they're speaking to us, and they're imprinting energy for us to tap into. So it's pretty exciting. And these nodes, which I'll go into here in a minute, were different. But we'll talk a little bit about them. Also, the hexagon here is very important. It creates the 11 code, the 11. And those locations are basically, you know, how this started is where I was located in the USA and where Christy was located in Australia. So we become the 11, the 1 in 1, through this hexagonal shape here, in this connection to all of this. Yeah, Christy, is there anything you want to speak to about this, in this?
Not about this bit.
Okay.
You're doing a great job.
Okay. All right. So I think I got the codes. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to move to information about these portals. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So the nodes, the portals, are 3 different things. And there's Tetra 1, which is the Lighthouse portal. Tetra 2 is the Volcano, and Tetra 3 is the pyramid. And I have discovered through this work that there's symbolic meaning behind these tetras, and these actual these symbols that are using to connect into these portals. So I'm just going to read this, actually. So we begin with Lighthouse, Tetra 1. This is a man-made beacon in recognition of human civilization, an architectural icon of sorts. It represents human presence, safety, and navigational guidance, illuminating the way through the rough waters of life, yet standing in solidarity with purpose. And the Volcano, Tetra 2, is a nature-made, sorry about spelling there, beacon, teaching the human respect for nature and also representing the human form within and without. From within, the volcano can create new landmass as it erupts. It then purifies the old. It is a creator of form. When the human allows itself to illuminate within, connecting back to its nature, it also once again becomes the creator of all that is, including that of form. And then we have the 3rd tetra, the pyramid. This was brought into a physical form, although its original form is higher dimensional. The physicality of the pyramids hold a grid that supports all of the physical experience, holding its knowledge within itself. So the pyramid itself, physically, is not the knowledge and the experience. It is within its higher dimensional essence, within it this system, this grid, where that knowledge is held. This, of course, is also humanity in its true divinity and connecting with God's source, as we are that essence. So the three tetras really are about our connection back to source. It's comparing the lighthouse, the volcano, and the pyramid to humanity. We operate in the same way, but we've forgotten our way. But when you look and you sort of dissect it, we just go back to who we are, which is where we come into the convergence. The convergence. We are in a total convergence of all that is in this now, and these three tetras are supporting this, if you will, through energy, mathematical recalibration, encoding, stabilization, regeneration, sacred geometry, and light language. And when I received the word convergence, I expanded upon its definition a bit. It, of course, is the act of moving toward union or uniformity, but I will add in a most natural energetic flow. This is not a forced manipulation, but an energetically established flow back into wholeness of the one, the all that is. So I found that very interesting. Everything is symbolic, everything is mathematical, everything has meaning. And so I wanted to share that. Okay, anything, Christy, you want to add to that?
Just adding to the word convergence. So this great awakening we're going through and this movement toward the new paradigm, we really are becoming a unified self where our masculine and feminine aspects are converging into the one wholeness. And so, yeah, it's just all of these activations have been about shifting that duality, yes. The Atlantean and the Lemurian timelines, and the heart space frequency, and the mind one, and just it's all about bringing those things that have been separate for us for quite a long time back into that one whole self. And when we allow ourselves to become that unified being, then we connect into the new earth grid, that higher paradigm, and that's the way we'll be operating.
Yeah, exactly.
From now on. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Let's go to the next one, which is just coming back to this, which Christy had just mentioned, Atlantis. We talked about this being more of the, as we would identify as Atlantean, but we don't want to, have Lemuria and Atlantis. We don't want to have that separation. We're doing this convergence now. It's becoming one. We're creating that unification. It's kind of interesting, the timing. And, I know there's no time, but yet we are in the physicality right now. I mean, we are experiencing our, physicality. We're spiritual beings in a physical body, right? We're having a physical experience. So when I say timing, it's because of what's happening even in the USA right now with the elections and what's been happening. And we're looked at as sort of Atlantis. The USA is kind of looked at as Atlantis. So this is our opportunity. This is the convergence of eliminating all that was. It's like we feel like we're on the cusp of falling from grace. I mean, everything, people are like, oh my gosh, what's happening? This can't happen. Even the light workers, this can't be happening, but it's because, this is a movie, it's playing out. But we still feel, this, and, this sort of experience that we're having. But, we basically we're not going to let it happen. We've already established the timeline, and the timeline is, it's for the highest good. We're going fifth dimensional here. This is a highest good timeline. So, you know, that's why we're doing this convergence right now in this Tetra3, is because we are pulling this. And not to say that we're the only ones working on this. I'm sure there's other people doing all kinds of work to allow this, to allow us to jump on this timeline and hold it steady here. But this is just, you know, one of those works for that. So it's like we're all merging into this convergence. I use the two together here. So it's like Lemuria and Atlantis become one. The masculine and feminine become one. Our self and soul become one. Dark and light become one. Fear and love become one. So it's this major convergence back to who we truly are, which is love. It's totally love. So,
and if we look at the reason why the 3 points are pyramids, also pyramids act as a collective energy. So when you focus on one pyramid, you are activating all of them, or focusing on all of them. And what they do is they act as amplifiers. They also seem to be nodes on the Earth grid. And so even though they don't hold energy in and information in and of themselves, they are access points for all the information that is held in the grids.
Right.
So when you tap into them, you have access to so much information and wisdom. And so the work we're doing here, Christy Wallace speaks beautiful light language that comes through strongly. And it clears the energy. It purges all the old stuff. And we are going through such an immense time where so much is coming to the light. So much is being dug up to be illuminated and to be shown to everyone. And this light language is part of that, digging it up and bringing it to the light. And then my role in this is that I'm very connected to the sun. And as we're moving into this new paradigm, the higher self within the sun, so the new sun that is the projector that is connected to the new earth paradigm, is coming through. It's getting stronger. It's within the sun that we have now. And as this comes through, its energy brings through a frequency of creation, of love, of the mother, of soothing. And so through Christy Wallace's sort of purging of the old energy coming up, then I'm going to bring through this new energy to soothe it all out. It's going to allow sort of a beautiful soothing for everyone, so that when over the next few weeks we're really confronted with a lot of upheaval and a lot of information coming up on the earth plane, it allows people to hook into the love more quickly, instead of being overcome by anger and blame. It allows it to shift much more quickly in this way. And so this is why we're doing this activation at this time, and the pyramids in particular will amplify the energy out so that everybody can hook into it in a much greater way. It makes it very powerful.
It's so interesting is that, this timing, because I thought, okay, we're going to have a third Tetra, and I just kind of lost sight. I got the word pyramid back in August, but I didn't, it wasn't time yet. So it was all about getting to the time that we're in right now. It's about this energy, because it's about to start swirling. And, that's what we're doing here. We're assisting that energy and assisting people to really get back into their heart, to, if they can tap into it, to really get back into their heart. And like Christy said, to smooth out this transition, to regenerate the energy, to allow for, you know, a more neutrality. Not saying that everything's going to be peachy at all. I mean, you know, people are going to have their own experiences. But this is on a collective level and, you know, on a very big bandwidth, you might say. So, all right.
The light bringers said to me that part of this activation will allow the emotions coming up to be more of a fizz instead
That's
of like
good.
a crazy explosion. They said
Exactly.
it'll still be quite a fizz, but it'll
Fizz.
just be a fizz
But
rather
good,
than, you
good
know.
thing about a fizz is it fizzles out.
Exactly. It's a bit of a fizz and then it just goes.
Yeah, I like that. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we'll go to the next one here. So this is a light code that I received on October the 31st. And, you know, I knew the light code when it came through. I was like, oh, okay, is this for our Tetra3? And yes, it was. And I kept hearing the word before this came through as merger. And then I said, well, what's the name of this light code? It's got to have a name here. And that's when the word convergence came through. That this light code is a representation of our convergence. So, you know, it's got the 444 code to it, which is God is on earth. It's I am the chosen one, and that's for all. The time has come, rise up, time to go home, monatomic gold, the key, earth goddess, and there's so much more with that number. 4 is the number of the mother. 444 is like triple the energy of the mother. So that's a little bit about this particular code. I guess the mother, you know, the mother energy is convergence into one, and which is love. And so we're, you know, we're coming back into love. And what I want to do on this light code is I want to come back to this because I'm going to do a little visual guided meditation for Christy to experience, and then those who watch this, that is going to give, I think, a little multidimensional experience for our actual convergence. It's really interesting. It's a meditation that came through as part of this light code, which is a little bit new to me. That I've only done that one other time, but it's really interesting, and I found it pretty energizing. So we'll talk about that. I'll come back to that. Let's see. So this slide, this is the last slide. This is kind of the ripple effect. And what I'm doing here is taking all 3 tetras and mapping them, showing the energy rippling out from these tetras, which, you know, right now there's like 12 ripples, and it's funny. So I plotted that, not even realizing it's 12, but everything speaks in codes and numbers. So you just have to put them together and then you get the codes, which is really interesting. But I want to start with the, this one over here. The 22 is the apex of Tetra 1. This one here is 12. This is the apex of Tetra 2. And this here is the apex 4 of Tetra 3 that we are working on right now. So with this and just mapping this out came, you know, the 11-11-11 code, which is the 333 code. 369 code came, which is really interesting, as most of you probably know a bit about that, is which was really exciting because I don't know if you know Nikola Tesla's quote, if you know the magnificence of 369, then you would have the key to the universe. And that's our goal here, to have the key to the universe. So these numbers came through in these formulations that I go through, and I can't even explain it. It's not the math that we were taught in school. I was terrible at math at school. it's a very spiritual, etherical sort of process. But these are all resonance of this rippling convergence that's happening right now. So soak in those codes. The 775 code is actually is love. That is the love code. And it also, 775 is 11, or it means 11. Back to harmony and the ions of the heart. So there's many more, but I just pick a few kind of meaning behind these numbers. So, you know, we know the 11 is also part of the mother's code. And now we've got it tripled here, and we get the 333 code and the 369. So that gives you sort of an expanded view. When you go back and look at Tetra 1 and 2, you see the the tetrahedron of where they're located. And then these are the apex. You know, you see how it expands. And this expansion covers the entire Earth. I mean, it literally covers the entire Earth. So exciting, very exciting. Okay, so now I'm going to go, anything, Christy? Anything you speak to on that? Okay. So now we're going to go back to the light code here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little guided meditation with this. And then I'm going to get out of the screen and go to just a single screen, and I'm going to do the light language. But what I wanted to do is give you sort of a brief sort of scenario on this, because I'm going to be talking through it in this meditation in terms of representation and what this code is. So when you see the spheres, well, first of all, there's a lot of sacred geometry here. There are, you know, just by looking at it, there are, let's see, there's like 5 spheres located here. There are 2 pyramids. There are 12 tetrahedrons. There are 5 pentagons and 6 cubes within this. And that's just on the surface. That's just at a first glance. There's much more than that. So there's a lot of sacred geometry within here. And then those numbers that I just mentioned actually equal 4. So we got the 444 code. Then also significant symbolization of the pink and the blue is the masculine and the feminine. This is spirit. This is a staff and rod. So hold that in your mind's eye right now. As we go into the meditation, you will be utilizing those and having a little multi-dimensional experience, perhaps. So again, I'll do the meditation. I'll get out of the screen and then give us all a few minutes. But this is really, this work right now, this meditation is getting us set for the light language. So, okay, so here we go. Okay, now just look into the image and imagine that this 2-dimensional drawing here becomes a three-dimensional object. And then imagine, I'm going to take the 2 pyramids that are actually located here, and I'm going to tell you where they are. This is one pyramid. You see, this is the apex of it, and this is the second pyramid here, the apex of it. Okay, so let's raise this up into a 3-dimensional object. So just take this object and raise it up. Now we've got space inside of it. Now see yourself as the pink and blue spheres. The masculine and the feminine. Now merge these spheres. Now merge them together. Now you become the purple sphere. This sphere, this is the sphere of you, the purple sphere. Now move yourself into the center of the Vesica Pisces. The center is identified. You can see little purple dots around the apex there. So move yourself as the purple sphere into the center of the Vesica Pisces. Now imagine yourself in that center. Now, as you're there in that center, allow the golden white light to flood your being, within and without. Now, as you're standing there, reach out with your hand for the staff and rod. Reach out. Know that this staff and rod is a tool of awareness. With this staff and rod, you rest in God's love and protection. So reach out for this with whichever hand you wish and allow it to come to you. You're now standing firmly anchored to the earth with your staff and rod. Feel your feet merge into the earth like a tree with very deep roots, and allow them to spread far and wide as you fully are connecting into Gaia. Now see your light body fully merge into your physicality, allowing the golden white light to become even brighter and the sense of warmth overcome you. Just allow this feeling, this experience, to express however it may. You may see sacred geometry or different colors all around you. You are purified. You are love. You are light. And this is your convergence into one. All that is. So just rest in that. Take some breaths. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to start the light language. Tujata kaino ojo uta 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 aju unama alla uh, tajunama aya tapakuna ijo unama alla 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 ujanama ayata tuja akhi no onama ajunama ayata ta 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 juuta da juuta na inama alla kuuta ajunama ahita unama ay 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 unay nay 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 Tajono una na ujata ay 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 ita ta in nama ujun nama hin nama ay 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 tata kuna uta juta juta akin unama alla la tajunama ti ija ana Ijuda na ayatapa ko na ijuun na maala tuuta ajun na maalakain doon na ay uta ta 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 unna na 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 unna na 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 unna na 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 unna na 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 ta 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 ujapa tuta a ta ti ijo na maala uta yan na ma ay na hina ma ajuda dai ajuda mai na mai nai mai nai mai nai 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 na 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 nai nai ay Onama ajonama alla futa ajonama inama akin tajta tamaina. To'on na maala ko uju akay unama ta'i tu ujapakana tujaian nama ti'i tapaaha tu ta'aju nama ai tapakune ija nama ayatapa na nama ayata uja akai i tu da uta 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 uja nama alla ku uta ijo nama ayata ajo una tima ayapakuna jona hen anama ain Usata ayayana. Tu. Atta. Usata. Tush. Tuma ayatapakun. Ijo unma alla. Uta ajo una. Ya ta a. Ta u. Ta a. Ta u. Ta a. Ta u. Ta a. Ju ukun. Ti akan. Uta a. Tu u. Ta ina. Joona allaku. Tama ayakan. Tijata.
That was powerful.
Get my bearings back.
Me too. I just feel like I'm sitting in the middle of the crystalline pyramid, just being the sun.
Yeah, nice.
Such a strong energy.
Okay, wow. I'm just going to give myself a few seconds here. I'm just going to thank everybody for joining and being curious enough to watch these videos and hopefully participate in the energy, tap into the portals, tap into the one, experience this convergence, because that is truly what we're going through right now. And the mother energy is counting on us right now to really play our roles and come back to our authenticity of who we truly are. And let's get ready for go time here. So thank you for joining me. Anything, Christy, you want to?
Thank you. I was just going to say, as we shine our own light and raise our own vibration, we seed out that vibration for others to catch hold of.
Yeah.
And so it's such beautiful service that we can give for other people, is to raise ourselves up through self-love, through trusting, knowing that all is in its perfect order and that we're going through this amazing shift, dropping into your heart space.
Yeah.
It allows your energy to emanate out from you, and it affects other people in such a beautiful way, and often activates them to be able to hook into that frequency for themselves. And so as we're moving into a time of becoming a collective, a true collective and one community, this is such a beautiful thing to do.
Yes, for sure. Great. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.